In the not too distant past, if you were after a performance car that cost between £20,000 and £30,000, there were two main contenders that stood head and shoulders above the rest: the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo and the Subaru Impreza WRX. But when compared to today's hot hatches and mega hot hatches, this hardly gets a mention. Now called the WRX as the Impreza name has been dropped, the Scooby seems to have the raw ingredients to make it a real contender. Under the bonnet is a 2.5 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder boxer engine developing 296 brake horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to get this from standstill to 62 miles an hour in just 5.2 seconds. It's got symmetrical all-wheel drive, so there should be plenty of grip. It also looks fantastic. It's got this deep aggressive front bumper, the bonnet scoop, deep side skirts, 18-inch alloy wheels and the huge picnic bench spoiler on the back. There's also an integrated diffuser and quad exhaust. It costs around £32,000, so the ingredients seem to be there, but what's holding the Scooby back? In here, it continues to tick boxes. You've got these sports Alcantara leather seats, which are very supportive and comfortable. You've got a D-shaped small steering wheel and the gear lever with its red top, leather gate with contrasting stitching. It's also got carbon fibre effect trim and contrasting stitching with Alcantara on the doors. There's lots of room in here. There's plenty of storage, lots of headroom in the bottom seating position. So again, everything looks like it should be fine. In the rear, you can get free in here quite comfortably. Knee room's pretty decent, as is leg room, although foot room's a little bit restricted. Headroom's not the greatest at 5'9". I'm alright, but over 6 foot you might start to struggle. It all feels a little bit cheap in here. There's a small door bin, little tray down the bottom with 2 cup holders in it. That's about it. The 2.5 litre twin scroll horizontally opposed 4-cylinder petrol engine develops 296 brake horsepower and 300 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to get this from standstill to 62 miles an hour in 5.2 seconds. Officially, it'll return 27.2 miles to the gallon and emits 242 grams per kilometre of CO2. However, on our trip so far, we've done about 100 miles and we're only averaging 19 miles to the gallon. The Scooby gets permanent symmetrical all-wheel drive, torque vectoring. Front and rear suspension is fully independent with sub-frame mounted inverted McPherson struts. The central diff is adjustable by the buttons in the middle. There's a auto manual button and then a rocker switch to change automatically. There are 3 auto settings: standard, which optimizes traction and agility; auto plus, which limits torque to improve traction; and auto minus, that increases steering responsiveness and sends more torque to the rear wheels. The SI drive essentially controls the responsiveness of the accelerator and the engine. I, which is intelligence, is the standard setting, which gives you a good spread of performance against economy. Sport mode gives you a little bit more responsiveness, while Sport Sharp mode gives you everything the engine can deliver. The acceleration in this car has 2 contrasting characteristics. One is when you're hammering it off the line, you pull away quickly, the engine spins up really fast, and before you know it, you're needing to change gear. First and second gear have really short ratios, so you need to be ready with the gear lever to change gear faster than you'd expect. The second characteristic is actually when you're just moving along. If you're, say, in third, just pootling, and then want to hammer it, foot down, nothing happens. There is a huge amount of turbo lag. It's quite disturbing, actually. You check down to see you're in the gear that you're meant to be in, that you haven't put it into 5th by mistake when you want to be in 3rd. So you just wait, and eventually it starts to go. So you need to get up to around 3,500 revs for that turbo really to spool up, and really from 4,000 onwards, this thing becomes like an Exocet missile and absolutely races for the horizon. It's ballistically quick. However, that turbo lag is an issue, so you'll be swapping gears regularly to make sure you're in the right rev range. The 6-speed manual gearbox has quite a long neck to it, but is a really short throw, so you can change gears very quickly indeed. However, it feels pretty mechanical, quite clunky and very brutish. Twin that to a heavy clutch and it's a good workout for your left arm and left leg. The ride, however, is divorce inducing. If you take your partner in here and she doesn't share your love for the Scooby and for that firm ride, then you could have a problem. It's really, really firm and shakes and bangs through most bumps. You can tolerate it the majority of the time, but there's occasions where high frequency bumps just continue and everything just starts to shake and shudder inside yourself, not the car. This has got a 50-50 torque split between the front and rear axle, but it generates a surprising amount of torque steer. You'd expect with that four-wheel drive system for it to be nicely spread, but there's a lot of torque steer with this. You also get a lot of mid-corner bump steer because it's so firmly sprung. However, the all-wheel drive system is phenomenal and creates an amazing amount of grip. It's surprising how much speed you can take into a corner. What you can't then do in that corner is add further acceleration because the car starts to iron the corner out as you torque steer towards the outside. So where's all that leave the Scooby? Well, it's certainly an old school take on the performance saloon or hatch. You feel part of the process, you feel that it's mechanical and you're doing most of the driving. However, the world has moved on and its rivals are much more sophisticated, quicker and a lot cleaner. Thanks for watching, do subscribe to our channel for free and let us know in the comment section below what you think of the mighty Scooby-Doo.